been a long week and the fellas are thirsty.
Scotch. Here it goes down into my belly.
It's time to cruise into the weekend. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch present Bar Card Friday. Brought to you by Keg N Bottle, with the best selection of bourbon, whiskey, tequila, private section bottles, and more.
My problem is I drink too much, way too much.
Yeah.
I get my doctor a urine specimen. There was an all of it.
Now, let's pour some drinks.
Let's pour some drinks indeed. It is a Bar Card Friday brought to you by Keg N Bottle. 10 locations all throughout San Diego County and nationwide. In fact, Tony Kanja, owner, operator of Keg N Bottle, normally in studio with us, is at his Ann Arbor store in Michigan. He'll have that up and running soon. So if you live in Michigan and you're watching YouTube, you're watching our video today, it will be open soon if it hasn't already been. I don't know when you're going to be watching this. This could be 2038 for all I know. But trust me, it's going to be a beautiful store, or already is. So without Tony, we continue to roll along here with some new friends. We got Joe Beatrice, who's joining us. We got Joey Minyard joining us as well. Joe Beatrice, you are the owner, founder, operator, CEO, chief to-do list guy for your wife, who also works for the company of Barrell Craft Spirits. And you joined us on the radio show earlier, but we're going to dive back into all the offerings that we tried earlier here on YouTube. Good morning, Joe. Great to have you in.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Yeah, this
is fun so far,
dude. It's our pleasure because you brought in all the booze, and really good booze. But before we get to even our first sip, let's talk about what brought you to the spirits game. It's kind of a winding road that got you into the industry. So how'd you get here?
Well, I had a whole other career before this one. I in New York, and I started an internet company, and that ran its course, and we had a great time. And while we were doing that, we had spirits verticals within that, and so we built that up to a pretty good sized company, and it was time for me to do something different. I was tired of writing PowerPoint presentations, and I sort of looked around a little bit, and my wife and I were at a distillery, and I had a moment where I thought, why don't we do this? We talked about it, and it took me 1 week to figure out I did not want to build a distillery. So I wanted to be in the business, but I wanted to do it a different way. And so I wanted to create products that were, that tasted great, that were high quality, that were always different. So we produce about 20 to 25 different blends a year.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. And everything except one product is cask-strength. And we spend a lot of our time blending. It's myself and a team of 2 other people, Trip Simpson and Nick Christensen. And we blend everything that you taste here.
Wow.
That's it. That's in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, but that's like one paragraph of words, but that sounds like an entire year's worth of work, a lifetime's worth of work right there. We also have Joe Minyard in studio with us. Joe, you're an important guy with Barrell Craft Spirits. What exactly is your role?
Well, I manage all the wholesalers, so I go around, and I also believe in thank yous to retailers like Keg N Bottle.
Nice.
And I'll just add one thing, because it's what I do. Joe makes my job a lot easier because of the liquid in the bottle.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Somebody
fantastic.
Just got a raise.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's something to be said. As Joe just said, 25 SKUs a year.
That's nuts.
People look at me like, okay, that's every year upon every year. So we go into Keg N Bottle, and I sit down and meet with Tony. He's like, Joe, I got 50-year products already. But the best part is, what's next?
Yeah.
What do you have? I want it. And that is just the coolness of how I get to do. And then my job's done. So high five and let's drink.
Well, but that's okay. So this is such an interesting way to do this. So as opposed to being a distillery where you guys are pumping out like Old Reliable every year, it's like, hey, people love our 12-year, and we're going to try to, we'll tweak the recipe here and there every once in a while, but we can't really diverge from the path we're on because it's beloved, right? You guys are in a completely different space. You're basically a master blender. You're putting together some of the most highly esteemed bourbons, whiskeys, etc. and finding the right mix. And then, like you mentioned, Joey, you got all these different SKUs, 25 different blended whiskeys per year, cask strength. It sort of feels like almost like if you've ever, I don't know, you ever meet somebody where you're like, oh man, that was a really cool person. I wish I would have exchanged information. I'll never see him again. That's kind of what it feels like with your product, because like, if you don't get it, if you don't get your hands on it, you may never know what's in the bottle. You may fall in love with it, but at the same point, it's like if you enjoy it a lot, you're going to say to yourself, man, I wish there was a little bit more I could have gotten my hands on, because you guys are moving on to the next project.
When it's gone, it's gone. It's interesting. We're the distinguishing between a distillery and a blender we do is you got it. You play to your strength, and mine was not to build a factory. And the best distillers in the world are able to produce the same thing over and over again. And that is really hard. I mean, we do that to some degree with Seagrass, for example, some of our core products where we are in the 12th or 15th iteration of it. And we have to blend to a precise flavor profile.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
On those, but for the most part, everything we do is new and unique every.
So how do you get it so consistent? If it is you're literally blending from different companies from different types of liquid, how do you get it so consistent?
It's being able to know what the barrel contribution is and how they work together. So we might do 100 different iterations of it to get it to match the same flavor profile. Yeah.
Whoa. So you'll have 100 different blends, and you'll have to taste all of them.
Yes.
And figure out which one's the closest to what Seagrass tastes like, and that's one that hits market.
I'll do that.
It's a real iterative process. Yeah.
So how much ends up getting poured out?
We sample on as we're blending and testing. It's very, very small amounts.
Joe,
don't worry, it's not we don't waste that.
It's poured out into your stuff.
Yeah, Joe Beatrice is currently hammered. He's always drunk. I don't know how you do it, but that's an impressive process, and especially considering like this is a nationwide distribution. It's a spirit that's going to be on most shelves across the country. But you guys are a small company, like in terms of like manpower, it's you and your basically all of your family members. You work with your wife closely, your daughters, and you have your team. But outside of that, like, I mean, the circle's pretty close.
About 30 people.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. How like so do you own what do they call the big warehouses?
Rick house?
Do you own a Rick house?
Yes, we do. We have a Rick house about 10 miles from our facility in Louisville. And that's where we store the majority of our barrels. And so everything is really centered right in Louisville. But we do it, it is that many people, but we also work with distributors in every city. So,
right.
So the way the network of how this thing works is there was a lot more people that touch this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole ecosystem. Like, yeah, you guys are like, if it's concentric circles, you guys are the tightest one to where the pebble hits the pond, but there's so many ripples from there that get the job done, spread the message, market the brand, and so on and so forth.
It's a big brain with a lot of tentacles.
Yeah, man. Gosh, and you guys are making great product. So we're gonna start in a different order than we had tried on the radio show earlier today, because Joey, you poured some of the hazmat as you described it. Is this 140 proof whiskey?
141, which makes it hazmat.
Good night.
Which has not hit the market yet.
Okay.
Not available in any stores until the first week of August.
So I'm a test dummy.
You're going to grow wings
happens.
probably. Is Keg N Bottle one of the first stores getting it?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, if you're listening to us or watching the YouTube show today, July 17th, tonight at 6 p.m., you can run over to K&B Bistro, Keg N Bottle in Del Cerro. And Joe and Joey, they're going to be out there signing bottles, shaking hands, telling you the story of Barrell Craft Spirits between 6 and 8 p.m. So get out there, get yourself a signed bottle, and get some really, really good tasting whiskey. I'm going to drink this. Fletch, if I die, I want you to know that the Forerunner is yours.
It's crazy. I actually have something for you to sign, Rich, before you drink it. It's all your pension from the NFL. Everything is coming over to me.
Okay,
I'll handle it. Don't worry. Your family will be taken care of. I'm changing your son's names.
Sounds like, but see that it's just I was about to sip it, and then right there, I don't know if I. Okay, here we go. That's not 141 proof.
It's great.
That's not 141 proof. There's no way. What in the world? How did you make that smooth? I've had cask-strength spirits, obviously, in my life. Normally, it singes your tongue as you take your sip. Wow. How is that?
How do we do it?
How did you do that?
Well, first of all, this is
here. Get on that mic, Joe.
This is Decade, and it's 20 to 30-year-old whiskey. So there's whiskey from 20, 21, 22, 23 years old blended in there. And the way we do it is that we're able to put these different parts together in a way that different whiskeys will cancel out different notes and different aspects of other whiskeys. So it's a process of getting that right so that almost all of our whiskeys drink lower. They drink lower than the proof on the bottle. So it's all in the skill and the blending that does this.
That is such a unique. Okay, so I'm not even kidding you. What I'm experiencing now as you're talking about it, it's flavorful. It's almost got what so many spirits are missing, which is like a savory note. Like obviously you'll get sweetness, brown sugar, vanilla, or caramel, or that, or like a brightness of a citrus, or even a saltiness. But what's unique about this is it's got all the flavor up front, but the heat that you would normally feel that would scorch your mouth or like burn your throat on the way down, it's more of like a sensation you feel in your body. Like right now I'm experiencing it where it's almost like a analgesic effect. Like it's like a numbing sensation. That's really, that's fun.
That's great.
You have 2 sips of that. That's Grandpa's old cough syrup. You're going to get yourself a nice night's sleep. That's good stuff.
I love that. Boy, that's a total body immersion and experience.
That's fun. It's less of a drink and it's more of an experience. Yeah. That's a really unique thing that you guys got done there. Yeah. Okay. So you obviously have to have like an actual scientist or somebody who's got an incredible palate. You mentioned you have Trip and Nick. Yep. And Nick. Those are the 2 guys who help you blend.
Yep. The blending team consists of myself, Nick Christensen. She's been with us for years, and she has one of the most incredible palates of anybody I've ever met.
Yeah.
And Trip and I have been working together since the beginning. He's a whiskey scientist. He really is. He spent 12 years doing science stuff.
yeah. Like, so he's like legit. Hey, while I ask this next question, Joey, if you don't mind pouring up the next whatever you want, sure. Dealer's choice here. Sure. I'm very excited to try something else. It wasn't important to you when you put together the team of blenders, yourself and Trip included, to include Nick because of her gender. I asked that because, what's interesting about whiskey, more and more you're finding women who are attracted to the product, where in the past it really wasn't like an important demographic to get in front of with the product like this. Did that come into the equation at all?
It's a really good question. And I'm going to answer it in 2 parts. Nick was a buyer on the other side. So we would sell to her, and she was one of the most intimidating, and she's the least intimidating person you ever met. She's terrific, but she was really intimidating to us because she had such a great palate.
On paper, like she's going to drink you under the table. She's going to tell you all the things you're doing wrong type of person.
She knew, she it's so refined. She knew exactly what to buy.
Oh, okay.
But also the gender didn't enter into it. But the interesting aspect of that is as humans, we've evolved incredible palate. There's some theories that it relates to hunter gathering. So like women could tell what to eat, what not to eat, what was poison. That was actually, it's a theory that I've seen written about, and it's really interesting. And more and more as I've done this, and I've sampled, thousands of people have sampled it, and a lot of times a couple will come up and and the guy will take the lead, and he'll taste the product, and he'll taste it. It looks good, and then his wife or whatever will taste it and identify all these different things in the product.
She'll be like, "Oh, I taste rainbow peppercorn," and you're just like, "Yes."
That's it. You got
And
it.
also, a dark fruit, maybe cherry. No, it's in the berry family. Like, and like you're finding yourself like, that's actually really fascinating. I really find the study of us, like anthropology, really interesting. Like in the idea that obviously when we were living in caves and discovering uses for fire for the first time, you had roles, and they were more gender specific, almost from an evolutionary standpoint. And you had your hunters and you had your gatherers, and it makes sense that maybe because of that, I mean, it was really just to keep the clan alive. You would be trusting, the female who was back with the kids, looking after the flock to taste the berries off the trees to make sure, that we're not going to poison them. So it makes sense that evolutionarily speaking, like a woman would have a more deft touch when it came to blending than even. But at the end of the day, Joe, you gotta like it. It's not going to hit market unless you're enjoying
I
it.
approve. But it's interesting because you take all of that, and here we are drinking booze with it. What we did. That's what we did with that skill.
It's all of humanity.
We went from survival to booze.
And what comes down to two things, like the invention of the internet. First thing we do, porn. The invention of all of our different.
Yeah, the evolutionary traits that have spared us from extinction, from the dawn of man.
It's porn and booze.
It's booze. Here we are. So you poured me some of the 38 Barrell Craft Spirits bourbon. We tried this earlier. I'm curious how it's going to taste now, having tasted the hazmat.
It's going to taste different.
Man, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, gosh, it almost now it tastes sweeter to me. But like in a good way.
It will taste a lot sweeter.
Yeah.
Your palate is influenced by whatever you eat.
Yeah.
So we're like, when we're blending, we're always really careful about keeping our palates clean and pure, and and refreshing them. You have to, otherwise.
How do you do that? What?
Apples, water, coffee,
Okay.
all those things will reset and neutralize your palate. And also, we don't overdo it. You have to, like blending this since it's so high proof, you can't do too many. It takes time. The other ones we can do more, and we spit it out also. We don't.
Yeah.
Drink all this stuff. It's a little too much.
Yeah.
But and batch 38, that's our 38th iteration. I started the company with batch 1, and each one of these is unique, and they're all cask strength. And this one is it's a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys from 9 years to 15 years old, I believe. And you can see there's like all the states and the ages on the front of the label.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool. Little.
And this one, you're right. This one, I love this product. It has it does have a nice roundness and sweetness to it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a gorgeous label. Also, especially here in the month of July while we're filming this. It's America's 250th birthday. It feels like it would be a great birthday present for Dad. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to a Keg N Bottle, you can actually go to keg.bottle.com and get these bottles engraved. There's a perfect spot right above the label, for a little message, a gift message to somebody. It's really cool, and it's very tasty. And again, is there a stigma? And actually, Joey, I'll ask you this question. When it comes to blended spirits or especially blended whiskeys, would you say it's stigmatized, that market, like as opposed to like purchasing from a distillery that's pumping their clear spirit into a barrel and aging it in their rick house and doing all those things, as opposed to being a blended a bottle? Is there a stigma at all in that market?
No, but they're probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
There would have been, right? Because you're like, you're buying people's liquid from other places and you're doing something with it and getting your own. Now it's more and more common.
Yeah.
And it's great that we are considered at the top of the top game. It's us. And there's some other competitions, but we like to say we're all friends. We're all friends. You never want to,
sort of.
we want to, you never want to talk bad.
You know, like Pontius Pilate and
Yeah.
Jesus. You know, they were buds. And they lunched together. It was just the suppers you had to stay away from.
And I said, after about 5 glasses, I'll tell you who I really don't like. Though. How about that? Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe it's see, for me, what it comes down to is what tastes good. It's always been my thought process. Like when it comes to wine, you could tell me, here's a $200 bottle and pour me a glass. And if it doesn't taste good, I don't care what it costs. You give me a convenience store, $20 bottle, $15 bottle. If it tastes good, that's the only thing that matters. And what you guys have done by blending, and obviously with Trip and Nick, and yourself, I don't want to discount you, but Joe, you guys have made a really good tasting product, and to have 25 of them available for purchase every year seems like an obscenely difficult task. Are those released all at once? And Joey, could we do the Seagrass again? Sure. I want to try that for the YouTube show.
And blended whiskey, because it's something that doesn't get talked about too much anymore. Blended whiskey traditionally used to be something your grandparents would drink. And what it was actually grain neutral spirits, which is vodka, and a little bit of whiskey thrown in there. And that was what, so that's why blended whiskey used to have a real stigma. And so that's really evolved into a higher art form. There's nothing in here but straight bourbon whiskeys.
It's when you're, do you feel like cornered a little bit? You know what I mean? Like in the sense that you're
every day.
Okay. Well, I just mean in this market specifically. Yeah. So you're playing. So like it's like I don't know. Like I'm sure, and it is an art. Like blending is an art. Like, obviously, if you watch a master chef create a meal, like it's an art form. Blending whiskey is an art form. But if you're a sushi chef, like that's your art form. You have your certain ingredients, that you have your medium, so to speak, and that's sort of where you have to play. You know what I mean? And you can't really diverge too far from that path. So I imagine a painter who works with watercolors may want to use acrylics at some point, and just like, well, it's kind of my thing. People buy the watercolors. Do you ever get tired of blending whiskey? Do you ever want to kind of spread your wings and get to a different spirit?
That's such a good question. And the analogy with a chef is true. This is part art, but it takes a lot of discipline, because we're really very specific about what profiles we're looking for and how we get there. Yeah. So the process is iterative, and it is complicated. We do get to play in a lot of different areas, because we have bourbons, we have whiskeys, we have ryes. We do a couple of rums, and each one of these is unique. We also do a whole world of finished whiskeys or finished ryes, where we have about 100 different experiments that we have going at any time. And, like it could be, it could be an
just
army.
Picturing a lab where, like, in one lab, a guy's like beating an octopus with a boat oar, and another one, it's an explosion.
That's exactly what it's like.
Just think about Beautiful Mind. That's what it looks like in there.
Yeah.
You've been there. Oh, you've seen it. Okay.
But so you guys are just tinkering. It's like you're just constantly figuring and tinkering.
Yeah, and also we're tracking hundreds and hundreds of different barrels at a time. For example, I'll just give you this illustration. We play around with wood maturation. As I mentioned earlier, there's all kinds of different oak. There's French, there's Hungarian. There's 3 kinds of French oak. There's Mizunara, and we have barrels that we've had made for us that are made from staves, the part of the wood, that are air dried 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, kiln dried. They're all different. We had the barrels made. We have different kinds of wood. We have different properties to the barrels, and then all of those barrels that we have are made with. We put different whiskeys in there, so there's different mash bills, different states, different ages. So we have a massive data set of barrels that we pull from, so we can create. That's why we can create hundreds of different things all the time, because of the selection and the inventory and the ingredients.
Yeah, it's like how many different numbers can you create from one phone number? You know what I mean? Like, it's you know what I mean? It's kind of the thing. If you have enough variables, it's limitless, virtually. You won't outlive the number of different combinations you can come up with, and different end products that you can come up with. Now I noticed, Joey, when you poured me a glass of the seagrass, you poured yourself one. Is this one of your favorites?
I like Joe the other day. Yes, I was partaking last night at dinner, and then Joe's like, you got to drive. I'm like, yes, I'm good. Just fill me up. One fun fact.
Yeah.
And this is not normal, right? Usually, if you're at home, you're drinking one bottle. Sometimes you go do a bottle share. But for everybody here, we're listening. Here's a quick fact: as I'm with Tony at Keg N Bottle, and we have 15 to taste through, right?
Yeah.
A sniff of your back of your hand will make the difference each sip of different whiskeys.
Wait, so
kind of almost do that as
That's
Joe was
your
talking
reset.
about.
That's your
That's your reset.
no way.
Oh, it's not licking the back of your hand?
That's for the salt.
Yeah, Fletch is a big tequila guy when he's drinking, and again, that's why we had to cut him off because he's he'll take off his shirt. He's got that Mediterranean tan.
But is the sniff really that connected to the taste?
Yeah.
Well,
because you're talking about, there's some, like Tony would tell you if he was here, he's going to taste 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So that is truly a reset. Yes.
That's so fascinating. So even something like that can help like clear the palate, so to speak, and like help you.
Correct.
Man. The Seagrass, by the way, rye whiskey, I didn't discover until we started doing Bar Car Friday that I even liked rye whiskey because I really never partook in it. Yeah. And this is really, even though it's cask strength, like all of the spirits we're tasting today, it's really smooth. And because it's finished in the Madeira wine casks, is that we call them. It's complex.
Apricot brandy barrels, and it's Martinique rum, which is agricole. It's rum agricole, which is more astringent. So there's all of these three finishes balance it out, and that softens it on the palate.
Yeah.
So everything that we make generally will drink less than the proof on the label. It feels like it drinks less than proof because it's just we do it through the blending. Yeah. We also try to engineer that you get something on each part of your palate. So when you taste this, you'll get something in the front, you get the middle, and get a long finish on this one.
Yeah. Oh,
it'll
yeah.
Stay with you.
This for sure. Like, that warmth that you feel, and like almost like a body sensation that you get from drinking the hazmat, the decade that we tried first here on the show. This has a similar feel to it. The cigar blend, this is something that you were really excited for us to try. Joey, if you can, we want to finish with this one and finish strong, because I remember just an hour ago, it was the first one I sipped on when you guys came in studio. And this is unique, I think, mainly because of its name, because the other ones, it's like, seagrass, that's kind of, ethereal, you just sort of like, well, whatever, you can drink that whenever, batch 38, it's your 38th batch. So you hope it's good by now, decade and the hazmat warning label, this one to be released soon, and you can pick it up at Keg N Bottle. But cigar blend, it pretty much like right on the nose. It's like, hey, drink this with a cigar. Was that a very intentional name for this because of the flavor profile? Yeah,
there are cigar blends or tend to be a style, and there's no real specific style, but the criteria is that you want to be able to pair it with a cigar.
Okay, yeah,
that was a little problematic for us because none of us smoke cigars. So we were trying to make a beach drink, and we live in Iowa, and so I think we know what a beach looks like. Yeah. But it was really it took us a couple of years to develop this, and we looked through profiles and we figured out what it would take. And I
just pictured Joe out back of the Rick house, just puffing on a cigar like, this is, I don't know if I'm going to survive this year. Yeah, like that. But so I did go to one cigar event one time. Yeah, and this is a true story. When I got home, I took all of my clothes off and left them outside. But so if I'm anywhere near a campfire. Don't go to my house. If I smoke a cigar, we have an outdoor shower because we live close to the beach. My wife requires me to remove my clothing and shower outside. Like, it's almost like if the dog gets into something, she's like, oh God, he got skunked again. better tomato bathe them, so yeah.
That's your job, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think my wives know, our wives know each other. I'm pretty sure.
They might be sisters.
I think all wives do.
Yeah. There's a closed network that we're not invited to. They all communicate somehow. What is it like? As I sip on the cigar blend, so when I tried it earlier, again, that was first. So I'm trying again the second time around last. Man, you know what? It's even better than the first time. And what I'll say about it is what's changed on my palate, which again, it's a highly uneducated palate, but what's changed on it is I think it's like I'm picking up on obviously sweetness because, like the Decade, for example, is much hotter than that, but still smooth. I can get more of the spiciness to it now. Like I'm actually picking up some of that stuff too. It's really good.
Yeah, this has a 4 finish blend. So in all of all of our products, there's some whiskeys that were finished in this case Madeira, and it's Cercial Madeira, which is a style of Madeira, Armagnac, Jamaican rum, and then some of the whiskey is finished without a finish, but it's not really finished. It's secondary maturation. Let me say it again. There's a secondary maturation process to unfinished whiskey.
Okay.
So we take some of the whiskey that we're going to use in the blend and put it in casks that were made from Hungarian oak. And that gives it a very specific texture and flavor and astringency, which balances all of these things out. So what you're getting here is the different whiskeys coming together and creating a flavor that is a little bit different than anything you've ever experienced. So my orientation to finishing, I don't want you to be hit over the head with a flavor. Like it's very difficult to pick out the Jamaican rum flavor in this.
But couldn't do it.
Madeira, right.
Yeah.
And I want them to come together and produce something greater than the whole.
Yeah.
So it elevates the whiskey that's underneath it. It's a very different process. This is something that we do uniquely.
What is, so like obviously, salt balances sweet, if something's fatty, acid helps that. What is astringency balanced against?
Sweetness.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So we play around with those all the time. That's like in the seagrass, you have agricole against the apricot brandy, which is super sweet and super sweet. It's not sugary, but it's sweet.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
There's no sugar.
Last question I'll ask you, Joe. And Joey, I have no idea if your family's involved with what you do, but what is it like working with your wife and your daughters and running a spirits business?
Well, you can't fire anybody.
And some of them deserve to be gone. And let's start the list. Who's at the top of the firing list?
But also, who's the actual boss? Like, it can't be you.
It's not me. It's not me. No, we have a great working relationship. I don't know how we do it, but it's one of those things though that is 24/7. I mean, we go on vacation together. We talk about work. When we're at home, we talk about work. Weekends, we talk about work. So it's, it is difficult, but we somehow manage. We have a good work-life balance. But I don't know, Janet, my wife Janet, she's the chief administrative officer. She runs a lot of the business side of it, all the compliance work. My oldest daughter Allison is the chief marketing officer.
Yeah,
and she has a deep experience. And Katie, my middle daughter, is the designer. She is employee 1. She designed everything you see from the website to the bottle to merchandise. She designs. Even when we first started, we hand wrote the labels. She numbered them, each one, until we got too big, and then we had to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah, at scale. Yeah.
And my youngest daughter started the social media program, and then has gone up back to.
So you have a social media manager, you've got a CMO, you've got a CAO, and Joe's got to go. He's out of here. No, buddy, Joey, thank you so much for jumping on. This was awesome. You guys make
Thank you very much.
Absolutely awesome stuff. All right, we say it all the time, but get you some Barrell Craft Spirits. They're going to have the cigar blend They're going to have the Hazmat, the Decade, coming out soon. So keep your eyes for that at any Keg N Bottle. You can pick up a bottle here, 10 locations in San Diego, anywhere you are in the country. Keg, the letter N, bottle.com. Again, thank you so much, you guys, for jumping in here. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, out.
Thank you.